October 6th meeting of the Board of Public Works and Safety. Roll call.
Mr. Desotny?
Here.
Mr. Ray? Mr. Margraf?
Here.
Are there any conflict of interest statements? Approval of the minutes of May 19th and 26th. I did get a chance to review them and they look fine.
I recommend we approve the minutes for May 19th and May 26th, 2016.
And I'll concur. Item A, request for bid dates of October 20th and October 27th with a bid opening date of November 10th for Fort District, Beach Avenue lighting from 176th to 174th. Do I have a recommendation to approve those bid dates and bid opening dates?
I would recommend so, yes.
And I'll concur. Item B, request for bid dates of October 13th and October 20th with a bid opening date of November 3rd for the demolition of 1222 through 24 175th Street, 1234 175th Street, and 7520 Linden.
I recommend that we approve the bid dates and the bid openings as written.
And I'll concur. Next, we have a professional service agreement with United Consulting for traffic signal design at Kennedy Avenue and 174th Street. The contract is a not to exceed $28,000. Do I have a recommendation to approve the contract?
Recommendation to approve.
We have a recommendation and I'll concur. Item D, correspondence received from Primera Engineering requesting 177th Street from Columbia Avenue to Linden Avenue be closed beginning October 1st for bridge painting. Which bridge is that? Oh, that's the Columbia Avenue? Right. Columbia Avenue Bridge over 177. Do I have a recommendation to approve that closure?
So moved. Recommend we approve the closure.
And I'll concur. Item E, correspondence received from Service Master requesting permission to place a dumpster on the street in front of 7421 Oakdale Avenue for 4 days. It's in a parking lane, correct?
Yeah, this is a result of a house fire we got there a month or so back. I recommend we approve the dumpster location for 4 days.
And I'll concur. Item F, correspondence received from Miss Sharunda Kukendall requesting additional street lighting at 177th and Wicker Avenue. I don't know if those are ornamental lights or NIPSCO lights.
Ornamental lights.
They are ornamental? Well, then they're already designed with a light pattern, but we can have Frank take a look at them and see what he thinks. Do I have a recommendation to refer this to Gary Gleason's office for review and recommendation?
I would recommend that we submit this to Gary Gleason. Would the engineering department need to be involved with this or no?
Yeah, they can be involved too.
I would think both departments should take a look at it and see if any additional lighting is warranted.
And I'll concur. Item G, correspondence received from the engineering department advising Councilman Kalwinski, Councilman Torres, Councilman Warple, and Councilman Emerson have each allocated $10,000 for the resurfacing of Casino Center Drive. Do I have a recommendation approving those funds?
I recommend we approve the funds for the 1st District, 2nd District, 5th District, and the 4th District. Yes.
And I'll concur. Item H, correspondence received from Chief of Police John Doty requesting approval of the reinstatement of Officer Jason Quick, General Order Number 1603, and disposal authorization. Do I have a recommendation approving those requests by the chief?
I do recommend that we approve the chief's request for reinstatement of Officer Quick.
And the general
also
order?
yes,
And the
general
disposal
order
authorization.
And the disposal authorization, yes.
And I'll concur. Item I, demolition hearings. The first one is on property located at 842 114th Street Garage.
Good morning, Mr. President and Board. 842 114th Street. Anybody here on that? 842 114th Street. Mr. President, seeing that no one appears, we do have good service. We would request demolition order be affirmed as presented.
Do I have that recommendation?
I recommend that we approve the recommendation as submitted.
And I'll concur. 523 141st Street.
523 141st Street. Mr. President, seeing no one appears, we do have good service on this matter. We would request the demolition order be affirmed as presented to the board.
I recommend a demolition order be approved as submitted.
And I'll concur. 1941 169th Street.
Mr. President, this is a commercial adjunct structure. It's a old car wash. No one appears. We would request the a demolition order be affirmed as presented to the board. We do have good service.
I recommend the order be affirmed as
And I'll,
presented.
and I'll concur. 3321 175th Street.
175th Street, 3321. Mr. President, this is a property which water has actually been off for over 5 years. City's been doing cut and cleans for 3 years. It's abandoned, and we would request, given the fact we have good service, that the demolition order be affirmed as presented to the board.
I recommend the demo order be affirmed as presented.
And I'll concur. Next one is 6518 Alexander Avenue.
6518 Alexander, Mr. President, we do have good service. This is an abandoned home. Actually, it has an illegal homestead on it. We'd request, given that we have good service, that the demolition order be affirmed as presented to the board.
Recommend we affirm the order as presented.
And I'll concur. 6642 Alexander Avenue, rear.
Mr. President, this is just the rear of this property. We do have somebody here. So it is, we have the owner listed as ACM Vision 5 LLC out of South Carolina. Are you here on behalf of them?
No, actually, I'm the owner.
Okay.
Is that a
Are
rear
you
of-
part of ACM Vision 5 LLC?
Yes, I have the house.
Is it a rear apartment or
No, it's, let me show you the photos here. I think the inspector will.
Yeah, I'm.
an apartment above it? Okay.
Okay, let me just, ma'am, what's your name?
Linda Sanchez,
Okay, Ms. Sanchez, do you have a card or anything like that? Or information? Can we have your address?
6642 Alexander.
You live there?
Yes,
You currently are occupying the front structure?
yes,
Okay.
I'm buying the property from at first it was Vision Property Management.
Okay, do you see this, these photographs?
Yes.
Is this the property?
This one here is, yes, that one. You could see this is the beginning of it,
Mhm.
the front of it, right here. This is the rear.
Yep. Okay, and you see this, is the structure under, is this still under construction? Garage?
No, that's not mine.
Okay.
Uh-uh.
Mr. President, I'm presenting you with the report and some photographs of this property. Do you have any ownership interest in it, ma'am?
Yes.
What is your ownership interest?
And, well, I purchased the home back in 2013,
Which home?
the whole property, actually.
Okay, do you have a contract, or do you have a deed?
I don't have it with me.
You're not listed as the owner. I'm just letting you know. You're not listed on the title work. You're not listed on the treasurer's information. You're not listed on the assessor's information. Let me just see. I know that we did notify you, so I'm just wondering. You're Linda Marie Sanchez, right?
Yes,
So here's the title work. It shows ACM Vision 5 LLC, a Delaware limited liability company, the owner as of July 29th of 2016. Chris, there's an agreement for deed by and between RV Holdings 3 LLC seller and Linda Marie Sanchez and David Allen Coakley purchaser, recorded February 9th, 2013, his instrument number, and it gives the number. And then the assignment of seller's interest to ACM Vision 5 LLC, recorded February 24th, 2014. So there's, it seems, is it a contract?
yes, sir.
Okay, so you have it on contract. Okay. And do you understand the position of the city is that it would like to demolish the rear structure because of its condition?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what are your, do you have an objection to that?
No,
Okay, so you have no objection to us entering the demolition order?
no, not at all. I've contacted, I also have an estimate here from one company called Acton, and I also have,
Oh, to have them knock it down themselves?
yes,
Okay, do you want to, okay, so what we're going to do today is enter the order of demolition. So if you want to avoid the city putting a lien on the property after they demolish it, that you, what you should do is let us know, and contact me. You have my number, it's on the letter that I sent you.
which one?
Okay, right here. You can
Okay.
call me and let me know if you're gonna self-demolish it.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna enter the order of demolition today. You have no objection, correct?
No objection.
Okay, Mr. President, given the fact that there's no objection, we would request the order of demolition be affirmed by agreement on the rear property owner.
I would recommend that we affirm the order as written for the rear, parcel only,
Okay.
as agreed to.
Okay.
All right,
And I'll
thank you.
concur.
All right, thank you.
And just get a hold of me if you're gonna self-demo it.
All right.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for coming in.
Next parcel is 7618 Alexander.
7618 Alexander. Mr. President, seeing that no one is present, we do have good service. We would request the demolition order be affirmed as presented to the board.
I would recommend that we affirm the orders presented to the board.
And I'll concur. Next property is 7051 Arizona.
Mr. President, 7051 Arizona is now a vacant property, overgrown. Deutsche Bank had an interest. They've notified Mr. Kearney that they are disclaiming any interest in the property, and therefore, given its condition, we would request that the demolition order be affirmed as presented. We do have good service.
The recommendation is to affirm the order presented to the board for 7051 Arizona.
And I'll concur. Next property is 939 Bauer Street, garage only.
Mr. President, 939 Bauer, we do have, looks like we have the owners here present. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Could you go ahead and introduce yourself to the board?
Leomi Wheeler. Yes, a Wheeler.
And Mr. and Mrs. Wheeler, are you the owners of the property at 939 Bauer?
Yes,
Okay, are you aware of the condition of your garage?
yes.
Okay, the city would like to, go ahead and get it knocked down due to its condition. I'm showing you some photos. Is this the, accurate condition of the current state
That's
of the
it,
garage?
that's it.
Okay. Do you have any objection to the city proceeding knocking it down?
Is they gonna charge me? Cause I don't.
They're
have-
not gonna charge you, but what'll probably happen is that there'll be a lien put on your property, but the city won't really enforce the lien. It just, whenever your property would get sold, if it would ever get sold, then the city would get their money back. So they're not gonna charge you in the sense that but they would put a lien on the property for the amount of the demolition.
Okay.
But it's not like they're gonna foreclose the lien, they won't go after your property or take your home or anything like that. How long have you guys lived in that property?
Since 71.
All right. We don't want, we appreciate the fact that you're there, so, but it is kind of in bad shape.
Yeah,
as you
it
can
is,
see.
it is.
Okay, so if you have anything in there, you'd have time to get it out.
Okay,
It probably wouldn't be knocked down, I wouldn't think, till probably 3 to 4 months,
okay.
okay?
Thank you.
You'd have no objection to us going ahead and doing
You
that?
can do it.
All right, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Mr. President, given the Wheelers' agreement, we would request that the board affirm the demolition by agreement. Garage only.
I recommend we affirm the order as presented, garage only.
All right,
And I'll concur.
all right, thank you very much.
Thank
for coming
you.
in. All right.
Have a blessed
Wheeler,
day.
You too now, thank you.
The next property is 2431 Birch Avenue, 2 rear buildings.
Mr. President, 2431 Birch Avenue, I don't see anyone present today.
Is that the one that had the fire?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
It
I'm
is.
familiar with that.
Yeah, so there's a couple rear structures. We're only asking for the 2 rear buildings. It's in real bad shape. I don't believe there's been any change since the fire. I'm sure Deputy Chief Margraff's aware of it as well. We would request, given that no one appears and that we do have good service, that the demolition order be affirmed as presented to the board.
I recommend we affirm the orders presented for 2431 Birch, 2 rear buildings only.
And I'll concur. Next one is 6129 through 31 Calumet Avenue.
Mr. President, I believe this is also a building that, okay, good. That Deputy Chief Margraff is familiar with, as it sits right across from the main fire station. See, Mr. Wisniewski's here. We have the owner as MAS Real Estate Investments LLC. This is a property that's in disrepair. It's vacant, been vacant for some time. The taxes are unpaid. It's a commercial structure. I'm not sure if Mr. Wisniewski has this on tax sale or otherwise, but we would request that the demolition order be affirmed given its condition.
The property was purchased, Tom Wisniewski. My wife owns 1/3 of Maz Real Estate.
Do you have any interest in Maz Real Estate?
My wife has it, and
No,
she,
I said, do you have it?
no, I personally do not.
Okay, are you here just representing her as an
Yeah,
agent?
she should be walking through the door any second. Yes,
Okay.
as an agent, yes, that'd be correct. I brought photos of the inside of this property. We have this property sold on installment sale to one of our affiliates, and in light of,
Who's the affiliate that you're selling to?
it was, no, they're at quick claim to back. I brought you a copy of the recorded contract with the county. This is your copy.
Thank you.
And then I have a, yes, yes, sir. And then I have the unrecorded quitclaim deed giving it back to us, which you can have, will be recorded by the end of this week.
I can have this one?
Yes, you can.
So okay, just so the board's aware, so Mr. Wisniewski's given me a copy of the quitclaim deed from the letter, or ONE DMC LLC, which is quitclaimed it back to MAS Real Estate Investments LLC. Is ONE DMC also an affiliate of yours?
They're an affiliate of ours, yes.
Is your wife also a member of that?
Of that, no, she's not a member of that LLC. But
Okay, it
she's,
looks like the grantor is Rita Cristiano.
that's correct.
She's a member of that LLC?
Yes. In light of these proceedings, she quitclaimed it back to us. I brought photos, 2 sets of photos, this property. New roof, new windows. Look at these apartments, very good shape. 400 amp service, which was on.
Thomas, real quick,
Yep.
did you say new windows and new?
Yes, new windows on the north
Did you get
side.
that permitted?
They were there already when we got the building. But I have photos that maybe, I think probably the best thing is to ask for continuance, and I meet with Chief Kearney, Inspector, and let him look at these properties, or I could provide you guys, I have 2 sets of photos of this property. You'll see that these units are in perfect condition inside. There was some sort of a fire in a rear unit on the south side, which has 5 charred floor joists. But if you review these photos, you're gonna see these units are in perfect, yes, yes.
That's
I have another set, if they want to view them, but I'd just
Yeah,
like to
we'll
walk
leave
over.
those ones.
Okay,
And
yeah, sure.
wait, so you only have 2 right now?
I can have more made. I can have
Okay,
more
we'll
made.
keep
Yes.
one.
Yeah. If you
Mr. President, we have no objection to the continuance in November to allow, actually, I guess, Mr. Wisniewski or his wife, to meet with Mr. Kearney during that time. Actually, we may, thank you.
The next step should be to pick the double inspection on Mr. Cookline.
Yeah.
Inspection.
You could just,
he's from your office?
he's the building commissioner.
Okay, very good, okay. No problem.
853-6316.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's do this. Mr. Cook?
Yep,
Okay.
K-O-C-H,
Okay.
853-6316.
853,
6316.
6316, okay.
And then just give him a call,
Okay.
schedule the inspection.
Sure.
Pay for it, and then we'll see you back here on November 17th with, whatever meeting you have.
Yes, would the board like to hold on a set of photos? Okay, very good. Okay, thank you. What day was that?
November 17th, and we'll get into like, yep.
November 17th, Kev?
Yeah, that would be the request.
I recommend that we continue this demolition, this order of business to November 17th at 9 a.m.
And I'll concur. Next property is 6219 Calumet Avenue.
6219, this is the A-frame building that used to house Tri-Electronics, that now is, I think, part of One Way Auto Sales. We did receive a letter from Brent Nabnett, the attorney for Tri-Electronics, because he's still the owner of the building. What he's going to do is coordinate an inspection. We'd request a continuance to November 17th to get a better handle on the condition of the property between all parties.
Recommend we continue 6219 Calumet Avenue to November 17th.
And I'll concur. Next is 1011 Cleveland Street.
1011 Cleveland Street, Mr. President, it's kind of a unique situation. The house sits on one lot, and the porch to the house actually sits on another lot with different owners, believe it or not. So we are, actually, we've notified both lots owners of this hearing. Seeing no one present, we would request the demolition order be affirmed as presented to the board. We do have good service.
For the house and the porch?
For the house and the porch.
Okay.
If you want to try to leave the porch standing, we could try that.
Okay, the recommendation is to affirm the order as presented to the board for 1011 Cleveland Street.
And I'll concur. Next is 2634 Cleveland Garage.
Mr. President, this is another garage.
There's somebody in the audience who wants
good.
to step up.
I believe it's already been knocked. Did you guys knock it down yet?
Yeah, we actually knocked it down. Here to notify you.
Yeah, so we have a responsible owner here that has knocked down their own garage, which we appreciate. That's right. So we can obviously remove this from the demolition list because they have complied with the request. So we appreciate that. Thank you for coming in. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
The recommendation is to
And I'll concur. Next is 6342 Euclid Avenue.
Mr. President, this is a property in which the garage actually was demolished by the city, and now we need the house demolished. So the house is, what happened was the kids thought that they could fix the house up. They haven't done anything with it. It's in real bad shape. We would request, this also has an illegal homestead, we would request that the demolition order be affirmed as presented. We do have good service.
This is 6342 Euclid.
Yes, sir.
Recommendation is 6342 Euclid, we affirm the order as presented.
And I'll concur. Thank you. Next is 917 Kane Street Garage.
917 Kane is nobody present here today. This is a garage in pretty poor shape. We would request that the demolition order for the garage only on 917 Kane be affirmed as, is this the one that the crossing guard might come on? If we could, you know what, before we do that, she's a crossing guard. She said she might be coming in around 9:30. So if we could pass this one and come back,
Okay.
just in case.
So then we'll move on to 7761 New Hampshire.
7761 New Hampshire, Attorney Swords dropped off some photos. Oh, snuck up behind me. Yes, Attorney Swords is here and has dropped off some photos on this property. He was just talking to Santar. Apparently they paid for an inspection, so we'd request a continuance to allow that to occur. The new date would be 11/17 of 16.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. The recommendation is to continue this till November 17th to 16th.
And I'll concur. Next property is 3905 Oak Crest Lane.
Yes, Oak Crest Lane, which I had
Somebody
to
up
remember
here?
that was in the city. Hi, how are you, sir? Good. Are you the owner?
Well, I don't know.
Okay. What's your name?
Josh Riggett,
I think you are.
here's the thing.
All right.
I have foreclosure paperwork here,
I understand.
and I have surrendered the property
Okay, great.
right there.
Okay, good. So then you have no objection to the city entering a demolition order?
I don't know.
All right.
I think Aqua might.
They might, but we've notified them and they didn't appear. So that's up to them. So, sir, you have no, your name, first name?
Jeffrey?
Okay, and you used to own this property?
Yes, sir.
No longer live there?
No, sir.
And you've disclaimed any interest in it?
Sir?
Okay.
There is, okay, I will say this though, if you guys go to demo this thing, there is a car in that garage.
Whose
So-
car is it? Yours?
Mine, but I couldn't get it because, long story short, I've been trying to get out from under this house for almost 3 years. My wife got it in a divorce. They walked out of the house, abandoned it, just left it, expected me to try and take care of everything, plus take care of my house that I've got now. And obviously, it just can't happen.
Sure.
And
So whose car is it? I'm sorry. I didn't
it's
catch
my
that.
car.
Okay, you can get it out. I mean, you should get it out. Because
Okay.
we're gonna knock it down in about 3 months.
Okay, so I got like 3 months to do this. Now, what do we do? Am I gonna have to pay for the demolition?
There'll be a lien put on the property. So it sounds like,
Right?
well, yeah, it sounds like it's me, because you're disclaiming any interest in it.
Okay,
Yeah, it'll just be another lien on top of the foreclosure lien,
okay,
so,
all right.
all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna give you your paper back, she's just taking a picture of it.
Oh, okay, no, you can have those copies.
Oh, good, oh, even better. All right, thanks, Mr. Riggett. Given the fact that Mr. Riggett has appeared, sounds like the security interest, Aquin has not appeared. We do have good service on both. We'd request the demolition order be affirmed as presented to the board. Oh, wait. Okay, we'll recall.
The recommendation is to affirm the order as presented to the board.
Yes, sir.
905 Oak Crest Lane.
And I'll concur. Next is 954 Sibley Street.
We could actually take 954, 958, and 962 all together, I think, right? You guys are
Those are all the
related
same
to the
property owner?
Smolskys? Okay. So we have all three of these properties, Mr. President, listed as owned by a Mr. Osmolsky, who I believe has passed away.
Correct.
All right, and you folks are?
Their children,
Okay,
both my mother and father have passed.
okay. And these are three properties that I believe are vacant?
That's well, yes, that's correct.
All right. The city's position, have you been in touch with Ms. Bennett at all, who represents the city for the Hardest Hit program? Because I think they're trying to potentially purchase these through the Hardest Hit program.
I go get the mail and take care of the property,
Mhm.
cut grass. And I did get some letters saying that people wanted to buy the houses.
Okay, this is actually a associated entity with the city so that they can obtain it for the state, and then state money would be used to demolish the three properties. Are you guys in any interest in going ahead and letting the property be sold?
Yes.
Okay. Chris is gonna take down your information. What we're gonna do today, unless you have an objection, is the city's gonna enter, orders to demolish on them. We're gonna stay them until at least November 17th to give you a chance to talk with Ms. Bennett to sell them, if you're interested.
We would like to ask if we could have a longer stay, only because there are some personal items and furniture still that we'd like to remove out of there.
Okay, so here's what I would tell you. Even if we entered the order today and didn't stay it till November 17th, you still have about 3 to 4 months to get stuff out.
Okay.
And if you need more time than that, if it's a special reason or an exception, we, of course, will try to work with you on that.
Okay, great.
Okay.
That's what we're interested in, and then we're very interested in having them purchased.
Okay, so Ms. Cantar's gonna get your information. She's gonna take down your name and phone number, and then, could you please state your names just for the record so we have it here?
I'm Deborah Lucas.
Jeffrey Osmowski.
Okay, and that's Osmulski. And then what'll happen is we'll relay that info to Ms. Bennett, who will get a hold of you guys to see if, is there an estate open or no? Has there been an estate open for your dad or mom?
No.
No, okay. All right. So given the, it sounds like there's no objection, given to the orders of demolition on all 3 of these properties, we'd ask that they be affirmed as presented to the board with the state till November 17th, 2016.
Your recommendation is continue this?
No, recommendation is to affirm the orders of demolition by agreement, but there'll be a stay till November 17th to enter them. Or, I'm sorry, stay on them.
So that means there'll be another hearing on the 17th?
Yeah, we'll check in. You guys come back on the 17th, but we're gonna enter the orders today.
Okay, and then in the meantime, we're thinking of the
That's correct.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Recommendation is to approve affirm the order as presented for 954, 958, 962 Sibley Street as presented.
I'll concur. Do we want to go back to 917 Kane, the garage?
I think there was, anybody here on 917 Kane yet? No? Okay, sir, are you here on a property we already passed over?
3321 West 175th Street.
Mr. President, this is it's the 4th one we, dealt with. I think the board did enter an order. Why don't we go ahead back and we'll reopen that? Sir, could you go ahead and introduce yourself to the board and who you represent?
Yeah, I'm Brian Redmond. I represent Trifera, which is the successor in interest to Lakeview Bank.
And Trifera was noticed on this. Okay, is your current interest ownership? You actually own it or you have a lien holder? Okay. So just could we go ahead and show you the photos of the property. You can take a look at that if you'd like that for the report. The city's position is we'd like to have the demolition order entered given the condition of the property. We still have the Elio Rodriguez estate or heirs of him as the owners.
And their bankruptcy case was just dismissed August 31st.
Okay.
Because I see a lot
Sure.
of violations with the yard and the fence. The house itself,
It's hard to tell. We just haven't had any notice. No, there's been no contact. I mean, if you're interested in trying to rehab it, you need to get a hold of the city pretty quickly.
my client is interested in rehabbing the house. They are pursuing their relief on their mortgage in circuit court right now. There's a case pending. The cause number of that case is 45 CO1.
Hold on one second. Let me just get that down. Go ahead. 45 CO1 1407 MF 00155. So it's filed in July 14, but there was a stay.
Yes.
All right. Do you know the status of it? In other words, is it to the point where it's summary judgment, or is it set for sale yet?
My office was just retained within the last couple of weeks. So the bankruptcy case was dismissed August 31st of this year, 2016.
Okay. So what we'd like, I guess, I'm sorry.
My client has investigated the property within the last month, obtained a broker's price opinion, which is essentially an appraisal that doesn't include a walkthrough of the property. We came up with a valuation of $40,000 as is before repairs. My client is interested in repairing the property, bringing it up to code, and
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, so I think probably the best thing to do, at least the city's request, given Mr. Redmond's now involved, if I got him, he's back on this page, is we would request that the order be entered as we requested. We'll put a stay on until November 17th to give Mr. Redmond a chance to get involved in the file and let us know what he believes the timeline is on this, unless there's an objection. He did.
So the recommendation is to affirm the order presented to the board, but put a stay on it until November 17th.
That's correct.
Just there, so it wouldn't go to the bidding process.
Correct. We'll review it on November 17th and figure out where you guys are at. He has, he represents the current senior lien holder, and they're in foreclosure.
Did you make that motion?
In November. They'll let us
And I'll concur.
When the sixth sheriff that date will be hopeful.
It's our understanding the property is vacant.
Yes, that is true.
He made the motion and I concurred.
Thank you. November 17th. Thanks, Brian. We can go back to Kane Street, if you would, Mr. President.
Nobody's here yet on Kane?
Nope.
Do you think, is someone supposed to be here?
Well, she called, but she had some. 9:30, yeah, and it's past that. I can show the board.
I'm gonna show you the pictures. This garage looks like something from Syria. I mean, it's not being used for garage because there's nothing left of the garage.
And it's masonry,
Yeah,
so it is dangerous if it
Yeah.
falls on kids or something.
that's correct. So she's indicated that she's gonna try to board it up, but I don't believe it's actually, even if boarded up, that there could really be any use.
No.
It still
If
doesn't.
the roof's collapsed and the walls are just standing there, they could blow over in a wind, or they could fall on a child and kill them.
Yep, so we would request that the order be affirmed as presented.
I recommend 917 Kane, we affirm the order presented to the board.
And I'll concur.
And that's all we have, Mr. President. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to item J, a rental registration hearing on property located at 825 Bauer. Could you step up to the microphone, state your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Jose, and I'm the owner of the property.
Okay.
I bought this house to rehab, and I did not rent this house to June. So I just wondered, I'll just, thought I can, get the house registered for rent any other month. Yes,
How many units are in that building?
one,
Just one?
yeah, single family home.
So it's indicated July 16, we connect inspection order by the tenant, received a copy of the lease for June 1st, 16 and 17 for Juan Antonio Fernandez.
Yes.
the tenant.
Yes.
He was in questions because it was a late lease, late tenant, this is his opportunity to feel, there's no problems before this, as you said, it was. So, reason, I recommend we wait for the future to get ready. We just all have 416. 416.
Yes.
We don't.
All right, I recommend that we waive the late fee and Mr. Cornell.
Yes.
We'll need to register the unit.
Okay.
At $5, for 16, and each subsequent year.
Yes.
Hereafter, it's going to continue to be a rental property.
And I'll concur. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Item K, rental registration, pardon?
Sorry, could we go back to item I? Just as we affirmed Kane Street, we had the owner come in. So she is here, 917 Kane, behind me. Is she here on Kane Street?
Yes.
We were waiting for you, but we know you were a crossing guard and everything, so, but you're here.
Thank you.
Okay, so could you please state your name, ma'am?
Emma Butler.
Okay, Ms. Butler, do you live at that property?
Yes, sir.
All right, you understand the condition of the garage, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that these pictures were taken, is that about the correct condition of the garage?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the city's position that we told the board just a little bit ago that we'd like to get this knocked down. And because of the condition. It doesn't look like it's usable.
What right now is not.
It's a serious situation because the walls without a roof on top aren't properly supported, and a big wind could come along and blow the masonry wall over, and it could fall on a child.
Yeah.
So we're really concerned about that. If it was a frame garage, we could maybe work with you, but since this is masonry, I think it's dangerous.
Okay, but my son, he just got out of prison, and he's supposed to be helping me with this. Cause I don't, if I can, I don't want it knocked down, I put a board behind there, and, I'm gonna have it cleaned next year, just started back to work last month. And I'm gonna have it cleaned out, and we're gonna have a roof put on top of it. And we're gonna block this all the way in, just for the road. And I really want to keep it for the sake of my yard, keep from using my yard.
Well, maybe you could put a fence up.
They doing the fences so wrong over there. A fence wouldn't keep them out like this is doing.
Well, you understand that this is really in
Yeah, it's-
very poor condition.
Yes, it is, cause I haven't been out here in a couple of years. Yes, it is.
It looks like more than a couple years.
Oh, yeah, I used to keep a board on there.
Yeah, but do you see the rafters are even falling in?
Down, I'm gonna have all.
There's no roof on it.
I'm gonna have all that.
I mean, you're talking about probably $15,000 or more in work. When you say,
Yeah, from what I'm seeing there, it looks like it's gonna cost more to fix than if you
Than it would
built
be to
a,
rebuild a
you
new
could
garage.
probably save the floor if it's in good shape, knock those walls down, and then put up a frame garage cheaper.
you could put up a new garage for
Yeah.
cheaper than you could fix it now.
You have good foundation built up. So depending on all that, it's not worth the savings that this is.
Yeah. So, Mr. President, our position is still that the demolition order should be affirmed as presented. I mean, we will reopen the case because obviously Ms. Butler showed up. But we would, again, you've seen the photos, we presented those to you, the report, given its condition and the danger to the surrounding community and neighborhood, we would request that the demolition order be affirmed over Ms. Butler's objection.
I would recommend that we affirm the orders presented to the board initially, and I would also do it again.
And I'll concur.
Yeah,
That mean what?
that we're gonna knock it down in about 3 months. If there's anything that if you have any plan for it, you can always present it to the building inspector. And
Will
we'll
the
take-
demolition contractor typically take out the floor?
It depends.
Because, yes.
If she comes up and she wants to save the floor and build a new garage, you would work with her, right?
Yeah.
That's,
So
my
we'll,
recommendation is that she gets family friends or someone to get the structure down to a point where it's safe, it's just as a pad, and we'll do a pad inspection. If she wants to build on it, we can do that. If it's not worthy of building on it, she'd have to go from the new. Problem with pad sitting there as it sits now, Stan, you said, I don't know, walls falling, stuff there, people getting in there doing things that they shouldn't.
Yeah, you get a big wind on those walls, you could blow them over. You see that in brand new construction where they don't have the roof on yet.
Well, together, those walls, those,
yeah, but with no roof or rafters holding them.
Roofs help support it.
So if you can get a plan together, we'll keep the pad, then you can build a new one. I think you're gonna find it's gonna be cheaper than trying to fix this one up.
okay.
All right?
Who you say gonna tear this down?
Well, we're gonna bid it out, so you probably won't come down for about 3 months. Okay?
Sledgehammers and moving wood is a lot cheaper than new construction. So you get backhoes out there, it's gonna be expensive. If you got family and friends or anyone that can help you get it down, get it to a safe point, we'll work from that. And we won't worry about follow-up.
Go to the bottom floor, you know where the police department used to be? Downstairs, there's the building department now. So go down there if you have a plan, and they'll meet with you. They'll try to help you. Okay, all right?
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll go back to item K, rental registration hearing on property located at 1006 Myrtle.
Oh, yes, sir, here we are again.
Raymond, we're here. We talked with Ms. Cantar about this.
Can you speak into the microphone?
Yes, my client is gonna register her property. First-time landlord, never been a landlord before, hasn't leased it out yet. The tenant that they had in there is moved out on September 30th. And it's listed with Rose Real Estate to be rented now. And we're gonna register it as soon as we get a tenant of our own. So they were just unaware of what they were supposed to do at that point in time.
And I will agree with that, she was cooperative in removing some bedrooms and, uninhabitable space. I have no problem waiving the late fee and having you register for.
Single-family homes, that what we're talking about? Kelly, your recommendation would be?
Waive the late fee, please.
All right, the recommendation for 1006 Myrtle is to waive the late fee for 2016 and assess a $5 rental fee for the property and every, obviously, hereafter that you're going to continue to use it as a rental property.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll concur. Move down to item L, rent registration hearing on property located at 240 Highland Street.
Good morning. I'm the owner of the property at 240 Highland Street.
What's your name? What's your name for the
Mark
record?
Phillips. About a year ago, we completed rehabilitation of this property, of course, with all the proper permits and everything that was necessary to complete it. Yes, sir. And what we did at that point, we decided for the first time that since we've been doing this, to go ahead and put it on the market. I'm here to ask for leniency regarding the late fee regarding it, on the basis that, first of all, I wasn't aware I needed to get an affidavit of vacancy, is that correct? I do know that now. At that point, it was probably toward the end of, we weren't able to sell it. So the last 2 months of it, we had air conditioner that was stolen and an attempted break-in and back to the property. So one of my tenants, who was in another property, was moving back to Chicago. She needed a place to go as she was transitioning her Section 8. So I need a house sitter. You need a place to stay until you get transitioned back to Illinois. So I let her go in, provided she had to pay for the utilities. This is probably where it got red flagged. But I have the MLS sheet showing that the property was for sale. This is the lease. We weren't able to sell it, and so this is the lease for the property as it is now. That was, yeah, we signed on 26th of June, and then the term was to begin July 15th. Right. Now, the other portion of that is that I'm used to, on the rental properties, coming in toward March and getting my stickers, and I wasn't aware I only had 30 days. On September 8th, I called building department to find out what I got to do to get a sticker. Now, mind you, I agree, I'm 2 months late at that point. He said, well, you're already in collections. Well, so hence the reason I'm here. So.
Understanding the situation, it was vacant to the point of June when they entered the lease in July when they actually could step in the property. We waived the late fee, get her registered for 2016 for $5 and, or is it vacant now? Is she?
No, I have, this is a valid lease from July 15th.
Let's get that information and registered for the $5 and waive the $500.
This is a single-family home?
Yes, sir.
The recommendation is to waive the late fee for 240 Highland and assess a $5 rental fee for the property. Again, with the understanding, you must know what the procedure is, obviously, if you have other properties. So.
I know it even better now, sir.
Well, that's good. That's the recommendation going forward.
And I'll concur.
Thank you.
Thank you.
After the meeting,
Move down to item M, rental registration hearing on property located at 904 Field Street. The property owner here for 904 Field.
I'm Rosemary Moore, and been in the hospital since July 4th.
yes, this was warned as a nuisance property.
This is single family?
It's a single family. The original tenants that the nuisance property was issued for, they have been evicted. My husband came, according to him, to pay the rental fee in March. He was informed that since he was looking to sell the property, that he did not need to pay that rental fee, that $80 at the time. he did not need to pay it at the time.
I have notes here for April 18, 2016, that date, and I filed that property is up for sale and not occupied as rental.
And,
In March, and was there a tenant in there in March?
no,
Okay, so it was vacant at that time.
correct. And so because of the situation, tenants did move in at the beginning of July. However, at the same time, he was hospitalized and has been in a medical facility since then. I knew nothing of the situation until I received the notice.
August 15, 2016, per review, the owner came to water department today wanting the tenants to sign up for service. However, he did not want to take it out of his name until they did.
August?
That was August, that's,
He was in the hospital in August.
15, 16, the owner came in. Okay. Was usage. We sent it in August, understanding there was a tenant in there in August.
Correct. But I
So
was
it
not
was
aware.
vacant- It was vacant before that.
Correct, but I was not aware that there was a rental fee associated with this until I received the notice. My husband is normally the one who had been involved in this, so I was not aware until I received the
Whose name
notice.
is the water in now?
The water
Because evidently,
is still in the name, because the current tenants do not have a lease. So the, utilities are still in our name.
for the water department, the tenants, water is still in the tenant's name.
What tenants?
For the water department, it appears the tenants are still there. This is back in 8/16/16. I'm going to, give the benefit of, wait, if you get it registered, so we find out who information is there, you're gonna need a lease with these people, so we know who's there, and, call the water department, make sure if the water is in your name or the tenant's name. So that will help us evade any confusion later, probably with our raters.
All right, then.
All right, the recommendation is to waive the late fee for 2016, assess the property $5 rental fee for 2016.
That's correct.
Okay, then. All right, then.
And I'll concur.
Thank you.
All right, then, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we move down to item N, order to rescind order of demolition property located at 970 Murray Street. Did you prepare this, Chris?
Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. President, I was working on one of the. The property at 970 Murray Street has been repaired, and I'm asking that the board please sign the order to rescind so that can be recorded on the property and give them good title.
The recommendation from the board is to rescind the order to demolish the property.
And I'll concur. Thank you. Next is item O, agreement to rehabilitate property located at 6432 New Hampshire.
Mr. President, this is a rehabilitation agreement on a property for the demolition list, and I would ask you to please approve it so that they can start working on the property.
The recommendation is to agree to the rehabilitation agreement for 6432 New Hampshire.
And I'll concur. Item P, correspondence received requesting a rental registration hearing. There's only one, right? When do you want to set that? November 9th? Do I have a recommendation to set it, a hearing on 435 Cherry Street for November 9th?
The recommendation is to set the rental registration hearing for 435 Cherry Street on November 9th, 2016.
And I'll concur. Item Q, specific findings of fact and a decision on property located at 2104 Davis Avenue.
This is a rental appeal. It was originally done for 15, however, then it was realized it needed to be done for 16 as well, so we're basically redoing it to include both years.
And you're recommending that we approve it?
Yes.
Do I have such a
The
recommendation?
recommendation is to approve a specific finding of fact for 2015 and 2016.
And I'll concur. Item R, correspondence received from Gary Gleason, Director of Public Works, advising of a 90-day trial for a change in the speed limit on New York Avenue from 129th to Indianapolis Boulevard to 25 miles an hour. It used to be posted at 35. So do we have a recommendation to approve this for the 90-day trial?
The recommendation is to approve the speed limit change for a 90-day trial.
And I'll concur. Item S, correspondence received from Brian Miller, Director of Public Safety, Purdue University Northwest, requesting a pedestrian crosswalk in the 6900 block of Schneider Avenue south of Purdue Northwest building on the east side of the street. We probably should send this to Gary Gleason, see if he can install it. So do I have a recommendation to refer this to our street commissioner, Gary Gleason?
The recommendation is to refer this to Gary Gleason, street commissioner, for his findings.
And I'll concur. Item T, garage sale permit submitted for approval.
Recommendation is to approve all of the garage sale permits as submitted.
And I'll concur. Do we have any matters from other board members? I have one matter. It's concerning 7815 Chestnut. It's from the building department. Building department recommends that the board remove Gary Material Supplies bid as the lowest and most responsive and responsible bidder for the demolition of property located at 7815 Chestnut. This recommendation is based on receiving a letter from Gary Material Service requesting to have their bid withdrawn due to time restrictions. And the recommendation is to award to the next low bidder, Acton Contracting LLC, which is the most responsive and responsible bidder for the property. The bid price is $7,760, which is what, about the same, or?
That's how much it is.
Yeah. Okay. So do I have a recommendation approving that change in award?
The recommendation is to remove Gary Material Supplies bid and replace with Acton Contracting LLC as a reliable bidder for that property, which is 7815 Chestnut.
And I'll concur. Do we have any other matters from other board members? Do we have any matters from department heads or their representatives? Any new business? Any old business? Meeting's open to the public. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to step up to the microphone?
Good morning, Board. My name is Curtis Vossi. I'm an attorney here on behalf of 2421 169th Street, which in the summer was issued a notice of violation. We had written a letter back in July to Mr. Kearney, and then again in September to Mr. Cook, and a copy to Ms. Cantar and Mr. Prieto, regarding just having some understanding of what exactly they want on certain items. Now, I have the agreement that was given to us, and I've gone over it with my client. We have indicated from the start that we want to cooperate with the city on this, but we did have some questions, like for instance, in the agreement, it talks about the exterior and interior, where the interior cannot be determined what needs to be done until there is it's a vacant commercial building. So the interior can't be determined what needs until he rents it to somebody and they tell him what needs to be done. We've talked with Mr. Cook about that, but the contract, which says that the work has to be done by December 29th, indicates the interior work too, and you know, the building may not be rented till after that. So anyway, I just want to alert the board that, you know, my client has signed this agreement, but we did have some questions. We have contacted the building commissioner as well as Ms. Cantar and the inspections department, and have not received any word back. So we just want to alert you that we're going forward.
Mr. Cook inspected the interior?
Yeah, and he issued a report, and then I wrote him a letter with a copy to Chris with some questions on it. Is that when it's set for status? Okay. So we have until then to work that out?
Right, but he needs to.
But you do.
He can't leave it vacant forever and ever waiting for a magical tenant, because then we're just gonna move forward with it. I mean, you can say, I have a vacant building, and someday, perfect tenant's gonna come along, and then someday I'll fix it.
Well, the market is also the reason for
It's
that.
also easier to find a renter in a place that's nice. It's hard to find a renter in a place that's nice.
Well, he's more than willing to do the outside of the building. The problem we have is we've asked for clarifications on things. He signed a contract, but we were waiting for clarification on that. The contract states that it must be started no later than September 29th and must be substantially completed by the 29th, but it includes both interior and exterior. I just wanted to bring the board's attention that we're willing to work with the city. We've been trying to contact with them. I wouldn't know any reason why they'd be upset with me not to talk with me, so we would hope that we would work with them going forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I call you or? Excuse me? Well, yeah, and he'll do the interior, but he doesn't know who the tenant is. He's had people that want to come in and do a restaurant, he doesn't want to rent a restaurant.
Well, then,
The exterior of the building is what we want to get going on this fall.
but there's first be done regards to the tenant.
Yeah, well, those are the ones we want. The contract says inside as well, and, you know, it says it's got to be done by September 29th, and there's no way to determine what needs to be done on the inside. But we'll wait for a contact from Mr. Cook, and we'll be here at the 27th. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to step up to the microphone?
John Reed was here because he believed that there was a status for Motel 6. However, I didn't find it on the agenda. And so Mr. Reed, not seeing it on the agenda, he did leave. However, if it was on the agenda somehow, he is going to be sending over an engineer's report. There has been some new work done, and I do have a report, which he's going to be forwarding to myself and the building commissioner. If the board wants to see a copy, I can forward it to you as well.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Recommendation to adjourn?
And I'll concur. Meeting's adjourned.
Those of you that